the big news of the day, once again, was about Epstein. Epstein. Still waiting to see what the over/under is in the House vote. How many House Republicans will vote for the bill that's been put on the will be put on the floor through discharge petitions? I keep hearing people say 100. I hear people say 25. And the reason we think that matters, we talked about it on the morning meeting this morning, is will John Thune be pressured to vote to hold a vote, or will he just kill it? So that's still percolating. But here, and news organizations are still reading through all the emails. So there's a second, third wave of, oh my goodness, look at what Epstein either got or received. I read something today about somebody I know in there, and I'm trying to reach him to find out what's up with that. But the bigger thing that happened today was the president who doesn't believe in playing defense. When he's on defense, he believes in playing offense. The president today, and this is when people say the president violates norms. Uh, in any previous administration, if the president of the United States went on social media or it's communicated and said, "I want my Justice Department to investigate my political enemies to create a distraction," it would be an uproar. It would be incredible. And instead, we've seen this movie before. People are just like, but that's what the president did. Number one, please. Early this morning, the president went on Truth Social, and this is a CNN headline. Trump says he's asking Justice Department to investigate Epstein's ties to slew of high-profile figures, Democratic figures, including Bill Clinton, including Larry Summers. For some reason, he's throwing J.P. Morgan Chase in there. And again, for any previous attorney general, it'd be a crisis. They'd go into a bunker. They would try to avoid answering. They would say, "Oh my goodness, this is the whole independence of the Justice Department is being called into question." And instead, the Attorney General said, "Yeah, she's having the U.S. Attorney in New York look into all this." Reid Hoffman, the Democratic donor, is also on the list. Here's the Truth Social post number two that set all this off. Uh, it's a long one. Now that the Democrats use the Epstein hoax involving Democrats, not Republicans, to try and deflect from their disastrous shutdown and all of their other failures, I will be asking AG Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, together with our great partners, patriots at the FBI, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, J.P. Morgan Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine what was going on with them and him. This is another Russia scam, Russia scam, with all arrows pointing to the Democrats. Records show that these men and many others spent large portions of their life with Epstein and on his island. Stay tuned. Here's where I want to start, Katie. That's setting the table here. There's some things people say all the time. Like they'll say, "I know who leaked something," and they'll just say, "Tell me with certainty." That's the person who leaked it. Everybody told me with certainty. If Donald Trump were implicated in the Epstein documents, the Biden administration would have leaked them. Everybody told me that. They said 100%. And I said, that's not what Merrick Garland would have done. But now, as some of the documents are out, he's pretty implicated, not in the illegality, maybe nothing wrong at all, but his name's in there in ways that are at least sus, as the kids would say. So, Katie, where does all this go now? Will the Justice Department investigate? Is Trump still in any danger? How do you see the landscape here on all this?
It definitely feels like the temperature is going up on it. And obviously, Donald Trump can celebrate the end of the government shutdown, but it also seems as though it brings with it a whole fresh series of potential problems for him. And you look at, as you say, the files released, so 20,000 files plus this week, which felt a little bit like flooding the zone, as it meant you had so many different stories coming out. Andrew, formerly Prince Andrew, one of my own. Obviously back in the news. Then you had stories about the Democrats. But as you say, Donald Trump is in so many of these emails. And it does lean into the fact that he has said he had this historic friendship, but it's quite a big friendship. And clearly it weighed
Yeah.
on Epstein's mind a lot in the time after it. I think with the vote on Tuesday, the fact that the White House tried and failed to convince Republicans earlier this week to not side with the Democrats, the fact they called them into the Situation Room, quite like it's a very visual thing to do to then not be able to get what you want,
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
suggest a slight, not having a grip on it, which is why I do think going on the offensive today with that probe, it suggests there's almost an acceptance now that they can't control it in the way that they wanted to, and they're going to have to try different things. And Donald Trump's going to try and fight, and it almost feels a little bit, a plague on all your houses. If I have to go down to a degree, I'm going to bring everyone else down with me.
Yeah, Rob, one of the things so interesting, and again, people are still reading through because there's so much. Epstein, in the context of Trump's presidential campaign in 2015, 2016, kind of seems to have put himself out there as kind of like a Trump whisperer or Trump, aficionado, expert, interacting with all these powerful people about, well, Trump this, Trump that, and he seemed to, at least in his emails, have a very low opinion of Trump. So, what's the portrait that's emerging of Trump's of Epstein's posture towards Trump that we've seen so far?
Yeah, well, certainly. I saw that Trump also posted on True Social the Jesse Waters monologue from last night, in which he makes that very point that
Yeah,
this Jeffrey Epstein characterization of Trump should actually play to Trump's benefit.
yeah,
You
right.
have this individual who's committed all of these heinous activities, and all of a sudden he doesn't particularly like Donald Trump. So the White House maybe should lean more heavily into that. Yes, I agree with Katie on this. I mean, I think that the strategy that the White House has employed from the start has been they haven't had solid footing. Remember, there was the episode with the social media influencers where they had the binders and they faced blowback for that, and then obviously those members of the Trump administration who were previously advocating for a lot of transparency all of a sudden seem to take a different tact on this, and so maybe actually putting everything out there and letting the American people, obviously within reason, you don't want to have a situation where individuals who committed no wrongdoing and are named are suddenly now implicated. So I think there still probably has to be some sort of review mark that the Justice Department goes through to ensure that that doesn't happen. But typical Trump, as you shared with that headline in True Social post, I am not surprised that he is going after Democrats and those who he considers his political enemies. And let's face it, Jeffrey Epstein visited the White House, I think, 17 times during Bill Clinton's presidency. So there's a lot of fodder there for probably Trump to mine and throw at his opponents.
Very well said. Brilliant. Cozy Earth is having a crazy sale right now. Massive discount on everything they do. Go to cozyearth.com, promo code two way for 40% off. This is your towels, your blankets, your sheets, your bubble cuddle blanket, your jogger pants, t-shirts, everything, the whole site. 40%. It's Black Friday. Come early. Go to cozyearth.com. Use the promo code two way for 40% off. This is great stuff. Affordable, comfortable, and the towels and the sheets. I've said this before. You'll use them as towels and sheets, but then you'll just want to go sit down and watch the telly, and you'll just grab them and you'll just embrace them. You'll just sit with them because they're so soft. They're so wonderful. Not like anything I've ever had. And again, I'm wearing the pants right now. Best pants I've ever owned. Black Friday comes early. Cozyearth.com. Use the promo code two way for 40% off everything on the site. You won't want to miss it.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and two way tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.